Hey, what if I told you that the secrets of top performing sales reps doing over $2 million a year really had nothing to do with sales tricks, sales hacks, sales tactics, or anything? It's crazy, and I'm going to prove it to you in this video. First, I want to thank Shane Wood for commenting. I'm going to read some of Shane's video or comment here, and this is going to set the stage for what we're going to cover in this to help you use the 3 secrets of top performing sales reps. Shane said, I've been doing sales for 16 years, and you just taught me a thing or two. Thank you, Shane. And he says, you're very articulate, observant, and caring. And those traits help me to excel to #1 in sales nationwide 3 times. That's awesome, Shane. Great work. And he says, the competing sales reps at my company always ask me what tricks I'm using. And I told them there are no tricks and no shortcuts. You have to actually care. And when you care, everything else falls into place. All right? And then there's a little more. My point is that what we're going to talk about in this video has nothing to do with any trick or tactic. However, you are going to learn how to implement what you learn and bring this to your next sale. And that brings me to this quick note before we jump in. I am now going to be sending to anyone who's receiving my emails, you know who you are. If you'd like to start receiving them, click to download a free copy of my Pitch Like a Pro roofing sales training video library. There's a link in the description. It's a little triangle on mobile. I'll be having a new way to join shortly. And in that, you're going to be getting what I'm calling the FAR snapshot, F-A-R, which stands for Fast Action Results, because everything on this channel and this podcast is designed to do what? To help you make money. And the only way to do that is to take what you're learning and put it into practice. And I've been thinking, how do I help everybody who's paying attention get more results? And that led to this. And I want to thank Sheena on my team for helping come up with this. And Sheena mentioned that we need to boil this stuff down. So you're going to get this in an email as a PDF to download. Okay. Inside, you're going to link to the video, link to the podcast, the 3 key takeaways, some high-level notes for you to bear in mind if I say any quotes or things that you should remember. I'm going to put that here. And then, most importantly, is this section, the Fast Action Results assignment. It's literally an assignment for you to take what you learned from the video and put it to use. So in today's video, check your email. You're going to get how to bring this to life. And in this one, I'm just going to share it with you at the end. And then moving forward, get on that email list. You'll get these sent to your inbox. At the end, I'm including recommended resources, additional videos to watch, and anything outside of my world that might be helpful to you. And in this case is a book, which I'll be mentioning shortly. So let's jump into the topic. The goods for today, which is the 3 secrets of top performing sales reps. This is not theory, by the way. All of my top performing salespeople, okay, that were doing over $2 million a year, they have these same characteristics. And they all struggled to say, like, what makes you so special? Why are you in the top 1, 2, 3% of roofing salespeople in a country? And none of them can really articulate it. And then I have William Wright on the channel with an interview. And we talked about his journey to doing over $20K of income per month in roofing sales in his first season. He's only a few months in. And then Andrew Itnire, who did over $3 million in sales in a 12-month period. And they all said the same thing. So I'm sitting here threading this needle. What is it about them? Now, of course, there's other qualities. There's other daily habits they have. But ultimately, these 3 secrets have nothing to do with tricks or hacks. It is simple, and you're going to be able to put this stuff to work, okay? Now, I'm going to frame this, and then we're going to slide right into these 3 things. These 3 things, I want you to think about like the foundation or the building blocks, okay, of a vehicle. And if you think about your truck or your car, whatever you're selling it needs to be operating to the full capacity to get you from here to there so you can make sales. There are certain things that will act as a crutch to keep you from doing that. A flat tire or a dead battery, for example. And if we translate that into the sales world, that's like totally flopping at the door, not asking for the business. These are critical mistakes that are going to keep you from making sales. But when you have these strong foundation, these 3 secrets, which I'll be sharing with you, they act to kind of bridge any mechanical difficulties and are more powerful than these sales tricks or tactics or anything else. And they're going to help take you from being decent to being great. And I want you to think of it like this. Like instead of having a flat tire or a dead battery, it's like having a CV boot that needs to get replaced, ball joints that are starting to fail, or a wheel bearing that went out. Now, is it noticeable? Yeah, a little bit to the super knowledgeable person, but the vehicle's still going to work. In a pinch, it's going to get you from here to there, right? And I know until there's a catastrophic failure, but my point is this. These 3 secrets of top performing reps, often these reps aren't even super strong closers, they're not even super strong at sales, but these act as a strong bridge to bring you there. So let's jump right into these 3 tricks. Excuse me, the 3 secrets of top performing sales reps. Number 1, communicate clearly. And do not word vomit. Communicate clearly. Oftentimes, less is more. okay? One thing, and you're gonna hear me say this again later in the video, is a thought exercise. Pretend that you're communicating to a 10-year-old child. It's not to say that your customers are dumb at all. It's to force you to get creative, to think about how to share what you need to share, how to make it easy to understand. When people understand everything, they feel comfortable and confident moving forward with you. So when you learn this art of distilling, like, you know, when you make, I don't drink anymore, but whiskey, you put all these ingredients in, right? And then there's a mash. And then after you still it, the potent stuff comes out at the end. And that's it. And you're left with all this other garbage. Well, the problem is most sales reps come in, they have all this garbage. They have the pot that's sitting on the still with all the mash. And they're like, blah, blah, we can do this, the RCV, ACV, I can help meet with the insurance company. And then we'll do this. And then you have a warranty. And they're just like giving everything. But when you just distill it to the message of, how can I help you, Mr. Customer? And you communicate in less words. That's why I refilmed this video, because it was too long. I said, how can I practice what I preach and do this shorter? So here we are. Less is more. Slow down, communicate clearly, and use simple terms that a 10-year-old would follow. And it helps people understand without overwhelming them. Got it? All right, let's slide into number 2. Focus on what's important to your customer. Think of it like this. You have this grand pitch, okay? Pretend in the sky. We've got your GAF Master Elite, for example, whatever it is. Boom, you've got the ability to offer a 7-year warranty. You have great service. You have great crews. You'll have great communication. You're excellent with supplementing. You have all these little baskets to pull from your pitch. But not every customer needs to hear about everything. It's like going on a first date and just giving your entire life story, right? Give the parts that matter most to them. When you notice that you're a video game nut and you're talking about video games on the first date and your date glosses over and is like, what? I don't care. Like, you lost it, pal. Save that one for later. So selling's the same way. So let's tie this in. When the customer cares about, ask them, Mr. Customer, may I ask you a question? What's the most important thing for you when it comes to selecting a roofer or contractor? They're going to tell you. In this example, let's say they say it's protecting the pool and the garden, and we just want our house kept safe. Well, guess what? They didn't talk price. They didn't talk about the material. They don't care about the color. They just want that. So then we eliminate these things and we focus on what the customer cares about. So we know it's like the art of being able to shift away from what we know is at our disposal and just be choosy and say, okay, I'm going to talk about my customer service. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you told me that you care mostly about the pool in your garden. Listen, there's 2 things I want to share with you, Mr. Homeowner. One, we have an incredible prep that we do, and I'll show you some photos. And you whip them out and you say, okay, so we're going to put plywood up, and then we tarp, and then for situations like this, we're going to make sure to get the pool covered and everything, so that way your filters are safe. We're going to sweep the yard with a magnet, and you explain the process. And say, on top of that, we communicate very clearly through the process. We send you updates over email, which, by the way, if you're not, those are included in my complete sales strategy and the marketing battle pack, or write your own, either way. But you communicate the parts that are important to them. Okay, so that's the second thing. So just quick recap. Number 1, communicate clearly. Less can be more. 2, focus on what's important to them. Okay, which brings me to the third part, and that's having heart. That is having a true, genuine care for the process. You hear people like William, who's on the channel, say this. I'll give you an example. The elderly. He's working on a job with the elderly. He feels like a hero and a saint because he knows he's going to take good care of them. He's going to protect them from getting taken advantage of. He's going to make sure that the job's done right, that there's no surprises, there's no financial surprises because they're on a fixed income. When people feel that heart, when you actually care, when you care from the heart and you show it, which is on the far cheat sheet notes, that in and of itself goes much farther than being the best salesperson. Because I'll be frank, we live in an age where consumers or homeowners are smarter than ever before because they're seeing more and more sales and advertising than ever before. And people sniff this stuff out. They feel sold. People feel far more than we give credit to. And I could pull this up if you drop a comment, but I believe the study shows that 70% of human communication is beyond words, non-verbal, okay? 70% of how we communicate is non-verbal. It's how we feel. the sensations that we are gathering from someone's tone of voice, their inflection, their body language, their visual cues. And you can feel heart. You know when you're in the company of someone who has a big heart. You know that feeling. I know we're getting a little hippy-dippy here, but it is backed up with some pretty compelling evidence from what I've seen. The reason I say this is when you have heart, you focus on what the customer cares about, and you communicate clearly. This acts as a bridge to overcome any sales weaknesses that you might have. And these are the secrets of top performing sales reps. They have this inside them, and you can too. And I'm going to leave you now with the fast action results assignment, what you can do to implement this. And again, moving forward, this will only come to folks who are receiving the emails to help you print this out. And owners out there who are playing the videos, who've sent me pictures, if you're playing videos, my videos to train your team, print these out and give a copy to everybody. So here it is. Fast action result. During your next sales appointment, I want you to do this. Pretend you're explaining the process to a 10-year-old. Explain less and keep it simple, and focus on critical details. Avoid any jargon, RCV, ACV, all the fancy words, depreciation. Just explain the process in simple terms. So that's the first thing. Pretend you're explaining to a 10-year-old. Number two, ask, what's most important to you when it comes to selecting a roofer? So again, tying it into focus on what's important to the customer, just ask them. Then you can cherry pick what you need and then repeat their response back to them to show that you care, and then talk about how you can fill their greatest wishes. So I'll give you that example again. Mr. Homeowner, what's the most important thing for you when it comes to selecting a roofer? Oh, protecting my pool and my garden. Do you notice how in the first role play, if you were to rewind, I did this. I said, I'm glad to hear you share that with me. Thank you. I would be honored to help protect the pool and the landscaping. Just repeat it back. This shows that you care. These are ways to tie in these concepts of what it means to care and to focus on what's important to the customer. These are tactics you can use to develop the characteristics of a top performing sales rep. That's all for this video. But before we wrap up, doesn't mean our time here is complete. If you want more tips on what top performers are doing, watch this playlist to see how you can earn over $100,000 in roofing sales. So watch this playlist to learn how you can earn over 100K in roofing sales. And then if you want to start getting these emails and get access to my Pitch Like a Pro roofing sales training video library, click here. We'll see you in the next one.